welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are racing at Mansells Raceway or Dunkeswell for a IKR round. So this one is a 2-day races. So we start off with 2 practices in the morning, then we got 2 qualifying sessions. We got heat 1 later this afternoon. This is currently the Saturday morning, and then on Sunday we have heat 2, pre-final and final. So yeah, we've got the setup here, just getting ready really. I do need to take off my engine, as I have got a new engine. I've hired an engine, I should say. So yeah, it'll be a little bit better than my current one. It's going to be an interesting weekend, I think, so hopefully it'll go alright. But yeah, our setup's looking pretty major, to be honest. We've got 2 warnings going on here. That will be Harold's or Harvey's, who's a marshal here, who's racing. So yeah, it's going to be quite good. Peter's car already, and then our car. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some good racing. We're using brand new D5 mojos for practice. We got our new maxis down there, which we use for the races and qualifying. So yeah, let's just jump straight into a bit later on then. So here we go for practice 1 then. So like I said at the beginning of the video, we're going on to brand new D5 mojos. So yeah, obviously because this weekend we have to run maxis for qualifying and the races. I didn't actually have any spare maxis, so I decided to use my Mojo D5s that I had, that I bought for Landau IKR. Sadly that got cancelled, so I ended up just using these for practice really. So yeah, we had a bit of a pace advantage, just to say the least. Sadly, one of the bead screws on my rear left tyre actually was loose, so I actually ended up struggling with pace as the tyres went completely flat. You may be able to tell in the video around about, well, towards the end of the session that the car is vibrating a little bit more than usual. That's the main reason why. But yeah, other than that, I stayed out. I didn't really notice it too much until I actually came into the pits and checked it. But yeah, practice 1, not too bad. But like I said, that bead screw being unscrewed was a bit of an issue. But yeah, I guess now we'll move on to practice 2 then. Practice 2 was obviously a lot better, obviously because I actually managed to put the speed screws on properly this time and had the correct PSI. So yeah, we went out straight away, tried to warm up the tyres. We're going to cut onto my fastest lap of the weekend then. Obviously I wouldn't have improved any more than this because obviously the D5s are a lot quicker than the maxis. So around turn 1 very nicely, run down towards the complex section. Very difficult section, as you can see. I'm still sliding because of the setup. Yeah, I didn't really know any setups for this track, so I kind of struggled all weekend with setups. But nevertheless, so we're flying around this track with these tyres compared to everyone else who were again on maxis. Coming around to the extended section, then down towards here, really flying through here, keeping the accelerator down. Hit the brakes last minute, try and take it nice and tight. We go a little bit wide there, actually understeer, so not ideal there. As we run down the back straight, then getting ready to go through the chicane section, and now back onto the start finish straight, coming out of the chicane very nicely, and that was my fast lap of the weekend. So yeah, that was the end of practice 2. Not really much to say about practice because obviously it's hard to compare my times with everyone else when I was on a bit of an advantage of tyres. But yeah, practice is over now then, so I guess we will be prepared for qualifying then. So now we jump straight into qualifying. As you can see, I'm using the helmet cam now, not the GoPro on the radiator box. And that's the main reason why I'm actually not allowed to use my GoPro on the radiator box, as it's part of the club rules. The only place I'm allowed the GoPro is either back of the seat or on the NASA panel. So tomorrow I will have it on the NASA panel just so I can have a bit of a different angle compared to this one. Yeah, the helmet cam's not too bad though. I kept it in. As you can see there, Jack Gordon absolutely sending it down inside of me in qualifying. I did try battling back a little bit, and then I just thought to myself, wait, why am I doing this? Obviously it's qualifying. I want a bit of a gap and to try and push for hot laps. So now then we're going to cut onto my fastest lap of qualifying 1 as we head down towards turn 1, send it through turn 1, try and get as close to that curve as possible, run out nice and wide. Could have probably taken it a little bit better there. Down towards the complex section, as you see we have 2 people just ahead of me, Jack Gorwin and the 55 car who was battling with him a little bit. Luckily he didn't quite get in the way of me through this lap, so I guess I can't complain too much about that. Plus I'm picking up a bit of a slipstream from the 55 through that last corner there, took it a little bit dodgy there, back end kicking out on me massively, so that's not great at all. But like I said, I was really struggling with the setup in this qualifying session and throughout the Saturday. As we head around the hairpin section out of the corner, get a little bit of slipstream through. As you can see, my straight line speed's not very good here. As we head through the chicane for the final time off the lap, get a massive amount of slipstream through down the start finish straight, and that was my fastest lap of qualifying. I tried to improve on that, but sadly I just could not go any faster because I got stuck behind the 55 for the rest of the session. So we come home, and sadly that is only P18. But sadly I actually got disqualified from the session for being 1 kilo underweight, which was definitely not a situation we want to be in. But yeah, sadly that was my qualifying over, so I'm actually going to be starting dead last for Heat 1. Now we move on to qualifying 2. You might be wondering why I didn't vlog very much on this day. It was mainly because we were trying to chase setups and just try and figure out little tips where we could try and improve. So I didn't really remember to vlog, to be honest. I was too busy trying to think of where I can improve with like driving style and just setups wise and everything. So yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle, but nevertheless we cut on to my fastest lap of qualifying 2 then. Obviously I added an extra 2 kilo of weight on the front of my kart, so we will be make the weight limit this time, so definitely can't complain about that at all. I still can't believe I was 1 kilo underweight, and obviously that cost me a couple of positions. Well, we would have only been P18 out of 20 anyway, but yeah, nevertheless, hopefully this time we can do a little bit better. But once again, coming through here, really struggling with the exit of the corners, but it's running down towards the final sector now of the track, as we're going to get a little bit of slipstream, not as much as what we did last time because we're not quite as close, but nevertheless we got a little bit more of a gap this time and probably break a little bit later than what we could, stuck behind the 55 down the start finish straight, and that was my fastest lap of qualifying 2. So yeah, once again I pushed as much as possible throughout the session, but I couldn't quite improve on that lap. I think that was my lap 7 or something, so yeah, couldn't really get any better than that. The tyres started to overheat because the tyre pressures were a little bit too high on that one for me. So yeah, that is the end of our qualifying sessions then, and that puts me in P19 on that qualifying session. So didn't do much better in qualifying 2, but that is how it goes sometimes. Obviously struggled with the setup, so now we have to get ready for Heat 1 then. So boys, we've done practices, we've done qualifyings now. Been a bit of a poor day at the moment, really struggling with rear end grip. First qualifying we actually got disqualified, which is a massive shame. Don't know what to say about that one. But yeah, I guess next is Heat 1 and the final session or event of Saturday before we go into Sunday. So yeah, like I said, the kart is okay. So struggling with speed down the start finish straight a little bit. As you see, we're taking our engine from race engines. So yeah, struggling a little bit, but yeah, just need to keep pushing really. Hopefully it goes all good. I also forgot to mention, you're probably wondering why I've gone from using my GoPro on the radiator box to now using my helmet cam. Yeah, sadly I'm not actually allowed my GoPro on the radiator box, which is a bit annoying. But tomorrow I will be using my GoPro again on the front NAS panel, probably around about here. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different angle, but still interesting to say the least. I can't put it on there today because, well, I've got a mount already on the engine radiator box, but I haven't got another mount for the front NAS panel as well. And also my GoPro little clip has actually broke, so yeah, I need to get another one before tomorrow. So yeah, today's not going too great at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but we still got Heat 1 to go. I'll catch back up with you guys after Heat 1. Hopefully it goes much better than what qualifying has, and hopefully tomorrow will go even better again. So now we head into Heat 1 then, the final session of the Saturday. Obviously we're starting dead last, so we need to try and make up as many positions as possible. Best thing about racing at Mansells in the club rounds is that you can actually, well, weave on the formation lap to warm up your tyres, unlike at Clay, so we could warm them up a little bit better. We're actually going to cut to the end of the formation lap here. As you can see, the kart 50 actually doesn't speed up enough so we can actually catch up to the back of the pack. I don't know why, but he actually slows off here. As you can see, the pack's all the way down the road there, and they've already just started the race now. Meanwhile, we're only just starting all the way back here, so I was a little bit confused and a little bit annoyed, obviously, being this far back, so we're going to have to try and make up a little bit of time here trying to catch up. So we're immediately going to send it down the inside of the kart 50 into the complex section. Straight away we've already caught back up, so we didn't lose too much time. But now we're all over the back of the kart 55, so we'll try and get past him as quickly as possible, as he's going to try and challenge the 94 of Patrick there down the inside. We're going to go down the inside of the 94 of Patrick as well. He's going to stride back down the inside, so we're going to go around the outside of him, out of the complex section, and made the move stick very nicely. Now shall we try and send it on the kart 55 into the hairpin section? We sort of made a half-hearted attempt at a move there, hit the back of him, and lose all our speed, so we actually end up back in last. So we made it all the way up to probably, I think, P17 there, just to drop back down to P20, just because of that stupid mistake. So yeah, coming out of lap 2 then, in towards the complex section once again, we send it down the inside of the kart 50 of Andy, once again, make the move back up to P19. So yeah, now we're back in the same situation where we have to try and get past everyone. And the problem I found is my tyre pressures were way too high. I think I had them on 8 or 9 psi, so that was quite high for this track. And well, on the day, with the temperatures as they were, we actually ended up really killing our tyres, and by the time we got to the end of the race, our tyres were just completely overheated and we're sliding all over the place. So it was a little bit of a struggle to try and keep up. We tried our best though, trying to keep with them as best as possible. As you can see, there's a bit of a battle going on here with Patrick and a couple of the others there, the 55 and the 22 kart, I think that is. So yeah, it was a bit entertaining to watch this, and I was trying to hope in that if they battled hard enough, I could try and get right on the back of them and try and make a move or something. But at the moment, they were all keeping it nice and clean and tidy and just following each other through. But I feel like now we're about halfway through the race. I'm sure one of these guys will try and bounce and try and get around each other. And as I say that, coming out the chicane, they're going to go 3 wide in towards turn 1. One of them backs off there, but they're still going side by side, 2 of them. And it looks like Patrick's going to come off a little bit bad there, as the 22 is going to try and go around the outside of him into the complex. We're going to try and keep with them as best as possible. Just watch and see if maybe any pieces come flying off. Hopefully not though. Hopefully everyone keeps it clean as we go in towards the second sector once again. As you can see, we've really closed up now because of that little battle, and hopefully we could try and maybe make a move at some point, but at the moment we're just not quite getting close enough and getting the opportunity to go for it. So yeah, at the moment Patrick's been overtaken by the kart 22, and they've pretty much played back and forth at the moment, and I'm sure this battle is far from over, as it looks like they're still really close to each other. We've actually caught up massively as well through the chicane section. As you can see, we lose a little bit of time down the straight. Our straight line speed once again is still not on point there, which is pretty bad to say the least, but nevertheless we're coming to the end of this race now, so people will try and make a little bit more risky moves, trying to get as many positions as they can towards the end of this race. And also obviously this is going to go towards our average finishing position and our starting position for tomorrow. As you can see, Patrick's going to send it down the inside of the kart 22 into towards turn 1 there. We're going to close up a little bit because they've obviously gone side by side in towards turn 1. Will the kart 22 go back down the inside of him? Patrick goes a little bit defensive there to keep him off, and it looks like it's worked for him, so Patrick's made it back up another position. So now we're just going to follow along, and I think this might be how it's going to finish now, as this is the final lap. So unless someone goes for a really risky move, I doubt it's going to change at this point. But yeah, quite an interesting race to say the least. Shame that we had a bit of a dodgy start there, obviously being that far off the pack, and shame that I didn't quite find a setup. But I guess now we will come around to the final 2 corners of the race then, and come home in sadly P19, so second to last, which isn't the best result in the world, but obviously struggling with a setup, had the bit of bad luck there and stupid mistake of mine. I guess we've got a lot of work to do for tomorrow and try and come back a bit stronger tomorrow with the setup and driver wise, I guess. So boys, that's heat 1 done then. Shame I messed it up a little bit, got past a couple of people and then hit the back of the kart 55 there. Ruined our race a little bit, but it is what it is, what can I do? Yeah, second to last, 19th, not great. We've got some work to do tomorrow then. But yeah, the car still struggling with a bit of sliding on the rear, or oversteer, which is a bit annoying, but we're still chasing the setup. You may have seen on my Instagram story, I put we are struggling with a setup, still chasing it, but yeah, I guess that's, well, day one done, the Saturday. So yeah, the car, well, doing an okay job. Obviously it's the driver as well as the kart, so I can't really be all fault of the kart and the setup. I just don't think I was performing very well today, so I definitely need to do better tomorrow. So boys, it's currently, well, 8:30 at night. I'm actually just sat in the awning, just getting ready to go to sleep really. Yeah, we're gonna probably sleep in the trailer. You probably can't quite see it, it's quite dark in here. But yeah, I'm just gobbing down a massive Domino's pizza right here. Not sponsored by Domino's, by the way. We got some Domino's cookies over there as well in the trailer, which again you probably can't see. So yeah, pretty lit. Little way to end the day, so I will see you guys though on Sunday. Yo boys, so we're here. It's Sunday morning, and you know what time it is. Track walk time. So yeah, just going on a little bit of a track walk. I'm noticing some different little braking lines, so as you can see where people have been slamming on the brakes from the tyre marks on the track. I've noticed there's a couple of lines where I'm going a little bit different, so I might try a few new lines today. It's going to be quite difficult. Obviously it's my first ever time racing at Mansells. I've done plenty of testing here, but obviously racing conditions is a little bit more difficult and technical. Obviously you've got people sending it down inside of you, they know a lot more than you, so I want to try and learn a few things about this track. Setup's the main thing I really need to learn, so yeah, it's going pretty decent though. For our first ever race here, obviously clay we struggled with when we first began here, so yeah, you know, it's, you know, learning curve, let's just say that. Obviously I've already been to two different tracks previously racing, which is clay and Landau, and again Landau was a struggle for us, so yeah, hopefully today will be a little bit better. But yeah, starting pretty much at the back once again for our heats. Pre-final, I'm not too sure how the grid's determined really for it. It's completely different to clay and NKC, so yeah, but like I said, some of the tyre marks are completely different from around. So obviously people are going, well, some people are just taking it quite tight, as you can see this line here, quite tight, but I go really out wide, so I don't really know exactly what the best line is there. But yeah, I guess I could just try different things, see what gains me the more time, and hopefully, who knows, come off with a bit of a better result. I still can't believe how much I've messed it up down in that corner down there. Yesterday, obviously, made a couple overtakes, hit the back of the car 55, and boom, that was pretty much race ruined. Dropped back to last, managed to get back up to 19th. So we got some work to do, but I think we can still maybe get a few positions in the last heat and the pre-final and finals. But I guess now we'll jump to a bit later on, probably just before we go out for heat 2, and get ready for heat 2 then. So yeah, like I said yesterday, I am going to be using this camera angle here on the NASA panel. Bit of a different angle and a little bit of a weird angle for me. Personally, it's quite an interesting angle. I don't know if I like it too much, but if you guys like it, let me know in the comments down below and maybe we can try and use it again. But nevertheless, so we head out on track for heat 2, or the first heat of the day on Sunday. As you can see here, we're actually going to take a bit of a different line here, a cut through section, so the formation lap's a little bit shorter on these races, just complete cut half the track basically, which gives you a lot less time to warm up the tyres. So yeah, this start's going to be quite interesting running down towards turn 1, but nevertheless, so it's green lights here at Mansells Raceway for the IKR race heat 2 as we head in towards turn 1 once again, and actually take it very nicely, obviously stay out of trouble. As we head in towards the complex section, you'll see up ahead here quite a few karts collide with each other, and we actually go nicely down the inside of them and make a couple positions here as we go try and challenge and follow Patrick through here on the 67. It looks like this, well, the 67's got a very good exit out of that last corner. Patrick's still going to try and go down the inside though. We got a little bit wide there, a bit of understeer, obviously tyres are quite cold still. I did have the PSI for the tyre pressures very high once again. I think they're on like 9 PSI in this one, so yeah, way too high once again. So it started off really good, as you can see here, getting our exits out of the corners very nicely, the tyres working very nicely, getting up to temperature very quickly. But then obviously as the race goes on, we struggle massively with the tyres and overheating and start sliding around all over the place. You'll notice that a little bit later. But at the moment we're still in the range of working very nicely. You may have seen there, Patrick's exhaust is quite loose there. We did actually notice that after the race, and he luckily survived the race, so it was very lucky of him. But yeah, bit of dodgy there to say the least watching that. But nevertheless, so we battle on as we're following Patrick around this section here. As you can see, I was taking a little bit of a different line there, and it didn't quite seem to work. My exit wasn't quite as good there as his, so we need to try and adapt these racing lines a little bit better, because at the moment, if we're going to just keep losing time, it's not going to help our chances throughout the rest of the day. As you can see, my tyres start overheating at this point. I've lost a massive amount of time compared to everyone else. As you can see, going massively wide there, understeering, and just getting a little bit of oversteer out of corners as well. As you can see, it's really starting to struggle now with the tyres. So yeah, I think this is definitely an indicator to, you know, say that I'm definitely on the wrong tyre pressure settings. But it just means that next time for the pre-final, I could try and do better and pick different settings. As you can see, Ned in the 32 that goes past me. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult race for the remainder of these laps now, but we just have to try and push as best as possible, try and follow Ned really, try and keep up with him. But even that is going to be a bit of a pain. As you can see, he just absolutely pulls on me there out of that first corner. So I'm just going to keep pushing on though, see if I can try and keep with Ned as best as possible, see if I can try and keep these tyres going. Obviously we have a couple of people behind me who are really trying to push me here and try and catch up. Obviously I gapped them a little bit at the beginning, but now with my tyres struggling, they are going to try and catch up as quickly as possible. Coming to the end of the race then, as you can see, Ned's just absolutely left me for dead. I'm still continuing, managing to hold position with the guys just behind me, and we're going to come home and finish in P18. So can't complain too much, made a couple positions, but sadly lost those positions as well because of obviously my tyres overheating at the end. But yeah, that is Heat 2 done and finished then. So we get ready for the pre-final then. We've done a few setup changes, one of them being the jetting. We've turned it to a 124 instead of being on a 127 now. And yeah, hopefully we'll go a little bit better here. As you can see, as we start up and start going away, we actually stall here and actually can't get going. I turn it off and try and turn it back on, but once again it happens again. So Rob, luckily from LPR, massive shout out to him, comes over, flicks the choke up as I'm trying to rev it, as he slowly puts the choke down, and we manage to get away here. Sadly we're miles away from the pack now, so we're going to have to try and play a bit of a catching up game. Sadly I don't quite catch up in time, and they've actually already started the race now as I flip open the radiator box. So I'm miles away as we're heading towards turn 1 then. As you can see, they've already made it through turn 1, so obviously with the cold tyres I go massively wide there, understeering, but I will try and catch up as best as possible. What will help me out massively is the fact that they're all trying to battle and try and make positions on lap 1, so I'm going to try and get past them as quickly as possible. You may have seen I ran over something there, and if we go back and watch it from this camera angle in slow motion, you can see I run over an engine mount. It's actually Andy's engine mount that somehow came off, so a bit of dodgy there. As you can see, he actually straight away notices that the engine's vibrating, so he pulls over to the side and stops the car. That's something you definitely don't see every day, so yeah, bit of a scary moment to be honest, especially that, well, he probably was driving along and just suddenly just saw the engine vibrating all over the place and probably tried to grab it. So yeah, a bit dodgy, but nevertheless we make a position from it, so up to P19 now, as we're heading around to end the first lap then already. We have caught up to the pack a little bit more now, so the Kart 55 actually goes very wrong there through the chicane, so that gets us right on the back of him. I was thinking about going down the inside of him, but as you can see, straight line speed is so good there compared to mine. I don't really know why I was struggling so much. I changed jetting just for that reason, because I thought maybe it was affecting my straight line speed just a little bit. I know I was on the recommended sprocket setting, so I know that wasn't the reason why, so it was, well, the only thing I can really think of is maybe the engine, but you know, it was set up all fine. Obviously I hired the engine out, so it should have been completely fine. but I don't really know why I was struggling down the straights so much, so I just had to keep pushing on though as best as possible, try and work around it. As you can see, we're all over the back of the 55, and like I said, because his straight line speed was so good, every time I got a good exit he would just pull away, as you can see there down the mini straight once again. As we come through the chicane, obviously once again I get a bit of a better exit than him, but again he's just pulling down the straight. Look at him go compared to me. So I did see this every single lap that I was stuck behind him, so I did think, okay, so the corners is clearly where I'm a little bit quicker. The straights, obviously, I'm a little bit slower, as you can tell from the video, and someone actually goes off at kart 22, gets taken out, so that's us up to P18 then. So we are making positions very slowly. Obviously that's mainly because of retirements, but we're still making positions, still making progress. And especially that I put the tyre pressures all the way down to 6 psi now, and I really preferred it at that. I was still struggling a little bit at the beginning, but obviously as the race goes on it will only get a little bit better. Compared to when they were at 9 psi, I was just really completely struggling right at the end of the race, but at the beginning I was absolutely flying because they just switched on quicker. As you can see, once again, kart 55 was absolutely flying down the start finish straight, so I just knew it had to be somewhere around the complex section where I was a little bit quicker than him out of turn 1, and then through the complex I would just have to go for it. So I kept that in mind, coming around out of the final few corners, then coming up to the final chicane, try and take it as best as possible. As you can see, messed up just a little bit there offline, so obviously I'm a lot closer than what I have been, so now I just need to absolutely nail turn 1, and then maybe I can have a go at him into complex. I take a very good exit out of turn 1, try down the inside of him. Now I'm going to send it down the inside into complex, make a tiny bit of contact, but I make the move stick very nicely. I did decide to just carry on and not give the position back, and we're going to actually get slow motion instant replay from the helmet cam now. As you can see, I try looking and sending a bit of a dummy around the outside, then absolutely send it down the inside, was completely alongside of him. He turns in on me a little bit, and that is a little bit of contact. We both managed to carry on, but I made the position. We'll just watch again. As you can see, I completely send it, was fully committed there, and as you can see I take quite a tight line as close to the curb as possible. He hits me when I was already at the curb, so yeah, I personally think I should have had the move. I was completely there, and obviously he might have saw me last second, but that's too late and I made the move anyway. So I kept the position, carried on, and yeah, we're going to come home in a solid, well, P15 position, so I can't really complain too much. Only made one position through overtakes, the rest was through retirements, but you know, you have to get lucky sometimes, you have to have a little bit of luck. Obviously I've had quite a lot of bad luck recently, so yeah, I'll take that. Alright boys, so pretty interesting day at the moment. Yeah, I haven't vlogged much today, I apologise about that, but the first heat, or second heat I should say, of the, well, first heat of the day, second heat altogether, a little bit disappointing, struggled with the tyre pressures a little bit. We were actually on 9 psi, which was way too high. We decided to try 6 for the pre-final, and that was much better, as you saw there. Perfect. Had a little bit of a problem with starting actually, which wasn't ideal. As you saw there, the car just wouldn't go. Luckily, someone helped me out though. Rob, big shout out to him in LPR Racing. He flicked up the choke, managed to get it going, so we managed to catch up. Sadly, we started a little bit late, but we managed to start the race. Made a few positions because of retirements, and also managed to make a position on track, so I'll take that any day of the week. We did have a little bit of contact on our overtake. The guy I went up to though, he was a lad, massive shout to him. You know, he was chill about it, he knew that it was racing. I was completely alongside of him, and we just made a little bit of contact, so I'm hoping that's a racing incident, but I guess we'll just have to see what the stewards say. But yeah, we've done quite a few changes, to be honest. First of all, caster. I found out that I was actually on max caster settings, so the front one, or the top one, was straight like it is now, and the bottom one was actually facing completely backwards. I've actually put it forwards now, exposing my settings. Not like anyone's probably going to copy it because it's probably wrong, but nevertheless we've actually done it on both sides, so I'm hoping that'll work better. I hope you like the GoPro camera, by the way. We're not allowed to run it on the radio box like I said before, so I've had to put it here. GoPro mount with tape over it because I have to make sure it's secure. If you like this camera and you want me to use it again, I guess let me know in the comments. Or if you like the helmet cam, that's pretty cool as well. Or if you just want to stick on the radiator box. We've also pushed out the hubs a little bit more on the rears, just to try and help with grip a little bit better. And it's working a lot better now. I think the tyre pressures, maybe if we go down another 1, we might be a little bit better, so probably 5 psi. But yeah, it's going alright at the moment. Much better than what it was yesterday, and hopefully it will continue going up in the final, and we may manage to make a couple more positions. But yeah, now I guess we'll get ready for the final and see how it goes then. So we go again for the final time then of the day for our weekend at Mansells Raceway. Obviously just jumping in the cart here. I actually have a bit of a different camera angle, thanks to my granddad for recording it on his video camera. So we go green flags here to go on the grid, and once again my car actually stalls coming out of the pits. So this time I decided to act a little bit quicker and absolutely straight away get onto the choke to pull it up. The cart completely stalls as I put the choke on, so I restart the cart, keep the choke up, slowly release it as I get the revs up, and luckily managed to go away and actually try and catch up. As you can see here, I panicked a little bit and absolutely fully sent it with cold tyres straight off into the grass, going for a bit of grass cutting there on the formation lap. Luckily didn't get any damage and luckily managed to make it out alive. We will get a replay of it on this camera angle. So yeah, just absolutely fully sent it, as you can see here, with cold tyres. Wasn't working, fully sent it over the curb onto the grass. But yeah, managed to luckily make it through the cut through on time and try and get around the final few corners. Once again though, we did push as much as possible, but we still didn't quite catch up. We got a little bit closer than what we did in the pre-final when we stalled, but sadly we still weren't right out behind everyone, so we were fully sending it down the start finish straight in towards turn 1, whilst everyone else was taking it a little bit easier. As you can see, we're definitely a lot closer than what we were in the pre-final, so I can't complain too much. But obviously we were meant to be starting P15, we're actually, well, technically started dead last, so we're definitely going to have to try and put our work boots on and try and make positions on track then, once again. So as we head in towards the, well, second sector for the first time then, obviously all over the back of car 55, because he's going a little bit defensive. Obviously because I'm dead last, I've got nothing to lose, I might as well take the aggressive line and try and get past him as quickly as possible. As we head down in towards the hairpin section, the extended part of the track, as he gets a very slidey exit out there, and we get a pretty decent exit. We're going to get a little bit of slipstream through the chicane for the first time then, nearly tapped the back of him there as he runs over the curb. Even though he had a pretty poor exit, still look at that straight line speed compared to me. There was no way I was touching that, so I just had to try and think of a way of getting around him as quickly as possible. Obviously we got stuck behind him pretty badly in the pre-final, and obviously that lost us lots of time. As you can see, two people go off there, the car 18 and the 93 I think I was, which causes this kerfuffle here as I try and go around the outside of two people there. I make the move on Andy in car 50 and now send it down inside of the car 55, and that's two positions made, well, four including the two people that got taken out. So we're straight away already up to P16, which is an incredible result to say the least, especially that we were meant to start P15 and drop back to last. So now we just have to keep pushing on though, keep hoping that we can try and battle these guys just ahead. I hit the curb then, which isn't helping me out at all, especially I know the car 55 is behind me and I know he's got a massive amount of straight line speed compared to me. So we're just going to keep pushing on though, try and keep up with these guys just ahead. Already lost a little bit of touch here, but they're battling, which is going to help me close up massively here. As you can see, I've closed up a massive amount as the guy in car 32 is having a bit of a battle here and defending off the car 67. But I can't complain too much as it keeps me in the game and in the battle with these guys up ahead. You might just be able to hear in the background that my chain and sprocket is starting to play up and the chain sounds a little bit dodgy. That is actually a bit of an explanation I'll say at the end though, but my sprocket is actually getting absolutely shredded by my chain for some reason, which is a major problem. Obviously you might just be able to see that I'm actually losing a major amount of time to the guys ahead. And I thought this was a driver fault and I thought I was just being bad and I wasn't having any pace or something. The setup still felt fine, I still felt like I could push, I was struggling a little bit there though. But yeah, for some reason I was just losing all this time, and later on I found out after inspecting through the car, it was actually the sprocket getting absolutely shredded by the chain. As we have lost complete touch with them now, you can't even see them on the GoPro. So yeah, we still pushed on though, and I was still trying my best, and now we are going to cut over to the visor cam. As you can see, someone up ahead has actually just retired, so that moves me up to P15, so I'm back where I started, so that's a really good result. But obviously with this problem I'm having, you'll probably just hear in the background in a second the scraping from the visor cam. So yeah, I also noticed that Brad Watts, who races in SCK, just up ahead is slowing down as well because he had a problem, so that moves me up to P14 after I get past him, and this is where the scraping started. So I didn't really know why it was happening or what was going on. As you can see, I'm trying to look around desperately to try and figure out what it is, see if I can carry on and just keep pushing as much as possible, or if I have to maybe pull in. Obviously I didn't know how many laps was left, so I just kept going for another lap, hoping that maybe the problem would, well, just survive and I would be able to finish the race. But sadly I could see the two behind me getting really close, so I pulled over to the right on the back straight and let them through. Obviously they were miles back because I pulled a bit of a gap on them, but they straight away caught up with me because of my issue. I knew I couldn't have held them up. I didn't know how long was left, so I thought, okay, that's it. I think this is it for me. I didn't know what the damage was. I didn't know why I could hear scraping and what the problem was, so I didn't want to damage my car anymore and cause massive damage and, well, make it more pricey. So I decided to back out of the race, and sadly that is my race over. We did manage to, well, finish in basically P15 because of other people retiring, but yeah, it's a massive shame that that's how our race ended. But I don't know what to say. I guess just a bit of a bad weekend for us, and that is the final over for us. Alright boys, we're just sat in, well, the awning space once again. You may have saw I pulled off. I have no clue what's going on. Someone was dragged on the floor, I heard. You may have heard on the GoPro, but I definitely know someone was dragged on that floor. I don't know what to say. We're trying to figure out now, actually, have a look around. But yeah, until we figure out, I guess I'll let you know. But bit of a disappointing way to end. Made a couple positions. You may have saw again, we couldn't get the car started, but I managed to flick the choke up, managed to get it going. I have no clue why that was, but yeah, not ideal to say the least. But yeah, I guess that's, well, the final done. Bit disappointing, but what can we do? Literally, we've had a look at the bottom, and there's nothing we could see dragging, but we've noticed the radiator box is a bit wobbly because the little part here has come off, so that's one thing. But yeah, sad way to end the day. Alright boys, we're cutting to about 5 minutes later after I just left the last update. So we found the issue, well, possibly, which actually is quite a worrying issue. So nothing was dragged on the car, nothing at all. Only thing we could think of why it sounded so bad was this. Brand new sprocket, put on literally this morning, and it's completely shredded. I don't know how that's happened. Literal brand new sprocket and everything. It's shredded. It's all lined up and everything. We've lined it up and everything. So I don't really know how that's happened. That's a worrying issue, because if that's going to happen every single race, we're going to run out of sprockets very quickly. I don't really know what to do about this. There's nothing we can really do tonight. We've got to take apart the engine because obviously I've hired it. Give it back to the guys I hired, but yeah, it's slightly worrying. We need to figure out straight away, do a couple of test days or so, figure out why that's happened. I'll probably ask around. If anyone has any ideas, please let me know down in the comments, because I've got no idea personally. But yeah, that's slightly worrying to say the least. So boys, we're currently in the absolute legendary C1. So yeah, pretty disappointing day. Could have been better. First race at Mansells Raceway, not exactly one to remember, but can't complain too much. You know, we were chasing the setup pretty much all weekend. Still struggled a little bit with the setup, but yeah, we tried our best though. We're literally just about to leave now. So yeah, in the absolute legendary C1. Just parked up here quickly, about to leave in a sec though. Yeah, I guess I'll leave this video here though. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. But thanks for watching, and goodbye.